If you're anything like me as an engineering student, then you must feel unsatisfied with simply attending lectures, handing in assignments, and doing group projects with assholes who don't even frickin' contribute. Every single day you're met with boring professors, unpassionate engineering students, and even cheating engineering students. So reasonably, you feel like there's more to engineering. I get it. In my first few years of studying engineering, I felt the exact same way, but things soon changed. Because this past year alone, I managed to do private engineering work for personal clients. I managed to complete personal projects which actually align with the industry that I want to get into. I managed to land 2 internship offers within 2 weeks of applying for them. And I'm now working in one of those internships along dozens of high-level engineers who know their stuff. So from an ambitious engineering student like myself to another, this is my advice. Chapter 1. Personal projects. Now, only the top 1% of engineers actually take time out of their day to do more engineering work. Why? Because they have initiative and they have passion. 2 traits that are highly desirable in the engineering field, right? Because if you have initiative, then the boss isn't gonna have to babysit you the entire day. And honestly, they don't have time for that shit. They got meetings to attend. They have more crucial things to attend to instead of just babysitting your ass. No offense, but that's just the truth. I know firsthand since I'm working as an intern in the engineering field. Personal projects quite literally show initiative because you're giving yourself an assignment. That is self-motivation. That is self-drive. And it also shows passion because nobody who's unpassionate about engineering is going to do more engineering projects in their free time, right? They'd rather play video games and scroll TikTok and watch brain rot content. Am I wrong? If you're a passionate engineer, which I'm assuming that you are, then you should be making personal projects. I expect that of you. So once you have grown a pair of balls to actually start making personal projects and develop your career, now you gotta define 2 things to drive your personal projects. First of all, your desired industry that you want to work in. Second of all, the desired role that you want to fulfill after graduating university. So take me, for example. I want to become a mechanical design engineer in the heavy-duty manufacturing industry. So I made this project right here last year, which aligned with those 2 things. It required me to use machine elements principles, which was gears in this case. Second, 3D modeling skills. And third, prototyping skills. 3 skills which are extremely essential for a mechanical design engineer. And then I made this gearbox because that's aligned with the heavy-duty machinery industry. It was a 120:1 gear ratioed compound reverted gear train. And then just for the hell of it, I threw a propeller on the end of the shaft. And in the end, it worked pretty well. So this is how you start making personal projects. You define the 2 factors that I told you, industry and role, and then you can actually get started. So make sure you take a lot of thought into this because this is quite literally your entire career ahead of you. If you want to save time, I actually spent a dozen hours defining and organizing all of the engineering industries out there, as well as all of the engineering roles out there by major into a single chart, as well as a bunch of project examples that you could give yourself and assign yourself, which are aligned with those 2 factors. And all of this information plus more guidance is available in the personal project program linked down in the description. I spent the past 2 weeks making it. I just released it 6 days ago, and the first 10 people get it 50% off, as well as a few other bonuses. All right, there's already 4 people inside. Yeah, 4 of us inside, and I'd recommend that you get your spot now while it lasts. Chapter 2, internships. Now, in my 3rd year of engineering, when I started sending out my applications for an engineering internship, it only took me 2 weeks to get my first 2 engineering internship offers. Isn't that insane? Let that sink in. It takes people months, up to 4 months sometimes, to get their first internship, and it took me half of a month. First offer was in the manufacturing technology engineering position, and the second was in a mechanical design engineer position. I obviously took the mechanical design engineer position, and I'm working at it right now. I'm learning so freaking much, like even implementing electronics components into some of my designs. And honestly, I can't explain it, but it's just really fun. So I really want you to get your own internship where you can develop your career even further and even get a bit of job security in the engineering field after graduation. Because a crazy statistic that I learned like 2 days ago was that 80% of engineering students who graduate university fail to find work in the engineering field. I don't want that to be you, man. You're watching a video like this, meaning that you're actually caring about engineering, meaning that you care about helping humanity through technology. So here's my number one piece of advice for anyone looking for an engineering internship. Do not spray and pray. This means that you send all of your applications to every internship posting you see out there, and then you just pray that one of them calls you back. This is a terribly ineffective use of your time, okay? Because like for me, for example, if I were to apply for a fluid mechanics or a thermal engineer, then they're obviously not going to hire me because I don't have any experience in that field. I do have experience in mechanical design engineering, so I should apply to mechanical design engineer positions for internships. Is that not common sense? So make sure that you're not spraying and praying. Instead, aim and claim. That's a term that I came up with, where you instead aim for the internships that you're actually highly qualified for. And then once you do that, you claim. Aim and claim. Let me ask you a question. How do you apply for an engineering internship? You said resume and cover letter? Okay. You're wrong, by the way, because there's one underrated, absolutely powerful document out there that you can include in your applications. It's called a portfolio, which includes all of the projects that you have, which is aligned with this internship that you're applying to. You can talk about projects all you want in a resume, but if you don't have physical evidence, literal solid proof that you made these projects, then these recruiters, they're quite unlikely to believe you. And even if they do believe you, you're not gonna have a lot of power to explain it unless you have a portfolio to help you present it. One of the bonuses for the first 10 people inside of my personal project program is actually 5 portfolio templates. So there's only 6 spots left, as I said. So go check out the templates inside of the program. Now, the reason that I know that portfolios are actually powerful is because in my first internship interview that I had, one of the recruiters actually was looking at my portfolio the whole time, and he had so many questions once he actually absorbed all of what I have done through personal projects. He was asking me so much questions like, oh, why did you make this rotary engine in the first place? Oh, did you actually model it in CAD? He was like ensuring that I actually made this project myself, and I answered the questions with ease because I actually did make those personal projects. And after he asked all of those questions, I was pretty assured that I got the position. So I was at ease at this point. I already knew that these guys were likely to hire me. And 2 weeks later, they freaking did hire me. But if I didn't have that portfolio, I don't know if I would have landed any of those 2 internships, honestly. Because showcasing your work is so important as an engineering student. And if you don't, what chance do you have? Chapter 3, distraction. Now, we all know that there are a bunch of distractions out there in engineering school, and I don't want you to fall into any of them. There's parties out there, there's fucking low quality girlfriends out there. You don't want to get distracted by any of it. This is quite literally your career that you're working towards. This is the source of income that you're going to have later, which is going to provide to your family. This is the type of work that is going to provide to the development of humanity itself, of this planet that we live on. Engineering is serious business. That's why it's so hard. And part of eliminating distractions is eliminating people that isn't going to serve you in achieving your goal. If you're best friends with a degenerate who just wants you to party all night, all weekend, when you have 10 assignments due, when you have an exam first thing on Monday morning, then I don't think that you should be friends with that guy. You should cut yourself off from anyone who's getting you offset of the trajectory towards your goals of becoming a great, capable, powerful engineering student. So that's my last word of advice to ambitious engineering students like you, is to not get distracted, to do your best to resist all of the distractions of college life. All right, all of the other majors out there, all of the other fucking arts majors, all of the business majors, they can do all they want in those parties, But you're different, okay? I expect more from you, especially if you're an ambitious engineering student. The community that is part of my personal program is filled with like-minded engineers who are not distracted on this path towards engineering, who are actually serious enough to buy a program from me in order to develop their career in engineering. So if you want to be part of that strong group of engineering students around the world, literally the next generation of engineering students who is going to carry the future of mankind towards greater heights, then I recommend you join it. I'll see you inside.